Good morning. Oh, what a great day to be here. They've asked me to speak on my volunteering with Red Cross, and I know a lot of you know about Red Cross in that you give blood, but Red Cross does so many other things. In 2004, I read a newspaper article about a woman that was on a plane headed to California to help families that had been displaced because of the fires. And I thought, you know, that's something I could do, but only with the support of my family, which has been phenomenal. My first year of being with the Red Cross, I was involved with DAT, which is a disaster action team, and we did everything local. If your house was on fire, we came to visit you the night of the fire or the day. Within 2 hours, we were there because the fire chief always called us. And we would provide you with housing and money to be able to eat, replace clothing, and take it from there and do whatever we could for you. We also, I don't know if you remember the plane crash out on Sandy Ridge Road in that neighborhood. There were families displaced, but there were lots of first responders. We were there feeding those first responders because they're on call 24 hours a day. There was a toxic spill on I-85. We were there feeding those first responders. My first deployment was during Hurricane Katrina. I went to Brookhaven, Mississippi. I was there just totally new with these deployments. I had no idea what I would be doing. I ended up in a warehouse running a forklift, supplying the other shelters with the food that they needed. One of the things that I did was I went with the medical team down to Biloxi. We were searching for some personal friends of one of the team because, as you know, Biloxi was one of them that was hardest hit. We found their friends in a place called Tent City. They were there without homes. Some were living in tents, some were living in RVs, but they insisted that they share their meal with us. There were no restaurants. They had had people sending food in from outside, and they were doing the best they could. Red Cross does not go into areas unless it is absolutely safe for us. So there were areas that were not being covered, and that happened to be one of them, but being with the medical team, we were allowed in. During Hurricane Ike, I was in Baytown, Texas. That's just north of Galveston, and that was extremely heavily hit with the hurricane. We were housed in a church. We were given portable showers. There were no showers in the church. And the local women did all of our laundry for us. We were there for 3 weeks. I was in a kitchen, which was a parking lot of an old Kmart store. We were serving over 16,000 meals a day. But the women that did our laundry for us, it was so neat. When we would pick up our laundry, they had these solid white bags that they put it in, and on each bag, somebody had drawn a picture, and there was scripture. Children made thank you notes and cards and gave to us. They're the ones that were affected by the hurricane, yet they were so gracious and gave us such a good feeling about being there. In Birmingham, after the tornadoes that hit Tuscaloosa and Birmingham and the surrounding areas, houses were decimated. They were gone. I came upon one family. I was driving an IRV at that time, and an IRV is an emergency response vehicle. and we handed out supplies, basic supplies like gloves and tarps and shovels and rakes and bottled water to anybody and everybody that needed it. We found this one family searching through the rubble on the ground. The little girl had lost her only doll. So we gave her a Mickey Mouse toy. Mental health provides us with those toys to give to children who've been affected, and the response from her was overwhelming. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the floods. I was in a church there. I was in a shelter. I was running the shelter. And it was a shelter for Red Cross workers because there were no hotels. We stayed on cots, just like our clients. But the church youth came in during the weekends and prepared breakfast for us. The church congregation prepared dinner for us every night. So we felt like we were almost at home. The only thing we missed was our bed. You know, Red Cross may not be a religious organization, but we spent more time in churches than most of you people do. I made a suggestion to a person one time that had a lot of time on their hands. They said they were bored. I said, well, why don't you volunteer? It doesn't have to be with the Red Cross, but there's such rewards to get from volunteering. Oh, well, I'm not going to go work someplace unless I get paid. And I thought, you don't know what a volunteer is then. And I've been asked about how I do what I do. Every one of you could do the same thing, and a lot of you do it. You may not be wearing a Red Cross vest. You may not be getting on a plane to go someplace else, but just taking care of your friends and family is the same thing that I do every day. The rewards are so much greater than the sacrifices. And I have to say, when I look at the clients that we serve, there but for the grace of God go I.